to go back to the university where you started off in Westminster.
University of Westminster, yes.
I mean, that must be great.
With me and asked me if I would mentor their MBA students. And I've been doing that probably for a couple of years now. It's on a gratis arrangement. So I'm hoping I'm giving something back. And I've had 4 wonderful students. I mean, really good. And quite a few of them have got, well, I think probably all of them have got distinction with their MBAs. And they've all come back to me and said, we couldn't have done it without you. So I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet.
No.
But
Well,
nice to get that feedback. And I love doing it, actually. Learning what I've learned, giving them the experience of my knowledge.
I think that's a great thing to do. You don't sound like you're blowing your own trumpet. I just think it's a great thing to do. I wanted to highlight that. The other thing is, we'll talk about your book. A few weeks ago, you had your book launch, and it was a charity event, and it was down in Radlett, and you raised the at the show or at the event. There was obviously
North London Hospice. Yeah.
It was for North London Hospice. There was a money for. Is there a particular? Can I ask you? Or are you willing to tell me why particularly North London Hospice?
Not especially. I just admire the work that they do. I try to do as much as I can for charities because of my upbringing, because of if I can give something back to people, I think it's a really good thing to do. North London Hospice do an amazing job with their palliative care, and I know from experience from relatives or friends who suffer with cancer, which is the most horrendous disease. And I think, they're a very caring people, and I just love the charity, to be honest.
Okay.
And, it was amazing. We raised on the night about £1,200.
Wow.
Which I don't think people were so generous. And yes, we received a cheque in the post for £100 just on the day before. Because that's someone I knew who also wanted to give. So it's been amazing, and I was just so pleased to do it. I think also, it's very easy for me to sit back in my office or think about what I've achieved or what I've got. A lot of people aren't in my situation. And if and you should never take that for granted. Well,
you never know what's around the corner, and
no,
I think
you don't. And
I think that's
if you can do what you can do, then I think it's I'm very happy to do that.
Soundtracks at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays plays film music.
Well, here's another nice mess you've gotten me into.
You're good, kid. But as long as I'm around, you're second best. You might as well learn to live with it.
This is Seclo Sounds, and you can listen to us by clicking Listen Live on our homepage at seclosounds.org for a choice of players. Via TuneIn Radio at www.tunein.com, search for Seclo Sounds and listen online or download the TuneIn app. You can download the Seclo Sounds iPhone app from the iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us on demand at our replay page.
You're listening to the Sticks Radio Show here on Seclo Sounds, and let's rejoin my first guest, Karen Millie-James. Let's talk about your book. We've spoken about your business and your life so far. This book is called The Shadows Behind Her Smile. I mean, I read it and I finished it about a week or so ago. I really enjoyed it. It had everything that I wanted in it. It was I love the old crime fiction. And the sort of that murder mystery or mystery sort of side of it. But this has got an added twist, hasn't it, as well? It
has, yes. There's a bit of a paranormal twist to it.
Yeah.
I know.
The lady, the central character is Sydney
Granger, yeah.
And she's a psychic medium. And I really enjoyed the book. I mean, where did the title come from? Is there a...
Well, I think I thought of it. My husband argued with me, and he said he thought of it. But we're sort of, I think we're just agreed to disagree on that.
Well, I'll settle the argument. I thought of it. No. But I mean, they always say, everybody says, "Oh, there's a book. There's always a book inside somebody." What inspired you to write this one, or to write at all, really?
Well, there was. I think it's absolutely right. I mean, my background is in languages and literature. I studied English literature, and I always read the classics, and I've always read from a very early age. And something I wanted to do, and I started writing this in April 2013. I finished it last summer, and then we had 6 months editing, which is the most important thing, I think. But the book started off as memoirs, really, for my 2 brothers and sister, because they were 7, 5, and 1 when our father died, and I wanted to give them some history about what happened with him and about their childhood, because they were so young to try and remember it. So, but then I ran out of things to say, and all of a sudden I thought, this would be great as a novel, maybe, turn it around. Paranormal thing is something that I'm quite interested in, the sort of psychic and mediumship and things like that. And I just think sometimes you sit in meetings and you wonder, people say one thing to you, but you just wonder underneath what their agenda is. And I thought it'd be great if you could actually know.
It'd be great. I always got this thing that when somebody's talking to me, I wish I could read their mind.
Exactly. Now Sydney Granger has got this spirit guide with her who can tell her.
Yeah, and
help her in her corporate investigations. I think it's amazing.
It was. I must admit, it didn't quote. Some books I would say are predictable and come sort of like 2/3 of the way through. I knew where it was. I know where they're going. If you know what I mean. Yours had. Let's not give it away. Yours has a little bit of a twist in the tail, doesn't it?
They do. Yes.
I really enjoyed it. Is Sydney yourself?
Do you know, you're not the first person to have asked that.
No.
And I think one always writes about what you know about.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So I know about the corporate world. I know about a woman in business. So I suppose a lot of her is me. And certainly some of the circumstances or the situations she goes through are things that I've been through myself. Not the insider dealing, fraud, blackmail or attempted murder, thankfully, but the rest of it.
Well, I'm not going to say too much because I mean, I think there's something in there for everyone. I think so. I don't think it's gender specific. No, I think a man or woman could enjoy it because they've got the adventure. You've got the adventure of these special forces, which was something I also researched quite a lot. I was going to say, have you got somebody you know in the special force? You have. Okay. I had a very good friend of mine who I'm not allowed to name. No, that's fine. He was in the Special Boat Services and out in the Middle East and also in the Falklands. And he was the one that gave me the information on the type of guns, how you get in and out of Damascus from Israel, how you would disguise yourself and blend in. So he gave me a lot of insight into army life, which was brilliant because I had no idea before that. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I will talk a little bit about the book. I'm not going to give too much away, but she's a forensic specialist, and she hears the crunch of tyres on her driveway, and she already knows that her husband, who's a captain in the army or in special forces, special forces, he's in Afghanistan, but he's dead, and that's her first premonition, and from then things build up, and she is contacted by a recently deceased gentleman called Ray Gordon about his company and the shenanigans that are going on there. Yeah. And it sort of builds on from there, and I tell you, it would make a great movie. Well. So if anybody's listening who would like to make a really good, and I mean, this would be a great British movie, wouldn't it? Oh, I think so, because it's very, I like the British side of it. I really do. I like the, typical British Army. There's a general. I love his character in that, General Ian Boldsmith. He's a sort of, I'd like to, very, the sort of moustache. You can imagine him, can't you? A bit like the Brigadier in Doctor Who used to be. That's who that's who I imagined him as being. Yeah, you do put your ideas behind the characters.
I'm really trying to get it out there at the moment, especially for a film. And, you know, I've got someone specific in mind to play the role of Sydney Granger, who I've always had in mind when I was writing it. She was the person that I always wanted to play her. You never know.
Are you going to spill the beans? Go on, spill the beans.
Well, I can do.
Go on.
I don't want to change the idea that you have of somebody. I mean, let me turn it around. Who would you think would be good to play her?
I would have thought somebody like, trying to think of the lady who played Bridget Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Was it Zellweger, isn't it? Renée Zellweger.
Really?
I thought she would be good. Or somebody like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, well, I was thinking on the lines of Suran Jones.
Okay, yeah.
You know, she used to be in Corrie and
I know,
to do various other series.
She does that Doctor show now that's shot in Hitchin, which is
amazing.
She's
a really good character.
Yeah,
and someone suggested Kate Winslet to me.
Yeah, Kate Winslet. Or the other lady who's in that Happy Valley show, and I'm trying to think of her name.
I don't know.
And she was in the Halifax show, the thing, and she's an ex-Coronation Street girl as well. And she's a great actress. Yeah, I mean, it would be something.
My husband thought Demi Moore, but only because he likes her.
Yeah, I like.
So he may be a bit biased, but she'd also be quite good. But she's Sydney in the book is in her 40s.
Yeah, she's a bit. Yeah, that's why I suddenly thought something like Renée Zellweger or something like that, because they're of that age group. But perhaps
so if Renee or Suran or anyone like that is listening, perhaps
that
get
would be
in touch.
Or any of the big film companies are listening. You know,
absolutely. Well, even more so. Yeah.
This is a big opportunity. It is a really, and it's a fast-paced book as well. Thank
you.
There's no letting up. I must admit, one night I was reading it in bed, and I it got to the point where I had it on the electronic gadget, and I nearly dropped it because I was that tired. But I really I thought I must read the next bit. That's
really great. Thank you.
And I really enjoyed it because some books, you know, they start off and then they sort of plod along a little bit, and then they get going, and then they stop again, and then then the last 20 pages or 40 pages seems to be a rush. Well, this seemed to be a good pace throughout the book.
Thank you. I think the important thing to me was I had different stories going through the book. You know, there's Sydney, and she's a widow. She's got 2 young children, and she's involved in her work. She's got a mother. Again, I'm not giving anything too much away. She's got a mother who's got early onset dementia, and that was quite poignant for me because my mum had the same. So I used my experiences for that. But I wanted each chapter to end on a cliffhanger, and then to start a different theme on the next chapter, so that people would read it thinking, I've got to get to the next bit to know what happened in chapter 5.
I know.
Before I get to chapter... And oh my God, I'm on chapter 8. I still don't know. And then all of a sudden you find out. And I think it was that build-up that I really loved writing.
Yeah, you had me awake till about 12:30 one night.
Okay. Well, my daughter was awake once till 3 in the morning.
Oh, was she?
Reading it, yeah.
But I'm an old man, so, you know. I'm usually in bed by 11 o'clock and, you know.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
We mentioned, about what inspired you to write a book. Who's your favourite author? Whose books do you like to read?
I still love the classics.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of the Shakespeare and all that sort of thing. And I do like the French equivalent. If there was a Molière play on, I'd go and watch it because I think they're great. I love John Grisham, and I love Wilbur Smith.
Yeah.
Because I love the way that they entice the reader into their adventures. I love their descriptions, and again, to me, they're page turners, and they've both written from experience. I mean, John Grisham used to be a lawyer.
That's right.
And he writes about legal things, and that's the important thing. You've got to write about what you know. But I just love their books. Mm-hmm. I've just finished reading the Wilbur Smith one, actually.
Have you? Wilbur Smith. When he releases a book, it's sort of like it's certainly heavy on your hand, isn't it? Mm. It's a big old thick old book.
It is, yes. And I don't know how he does it or how long it takes him.
It must take him ages. I mean, you know, he's been writing for quite a few years now. He's a very, very accomplished author. And it's really good, yeah. Also, I must ask you, is there going to be a number 2? Is there going to be The Shadows Behind Her Smile two?
Two.
Or part two?
Well, as you know, the book does end on a cliffhanger.
There is a little... Yeah, I know, that's why I had to ask.